What's good, people? It's your man DL Saint, and we are live. What's good? Welcome to the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. Glad y'all are here. Doing what we always do, checking out the audio. Audio is good. It looks like I found a startup procedure that works. So that's good. Y'all know I like to go back and listen to the audio. It drives me crazy when I mess it up. I haven't messed it up in a couple of days. That's good. But it does drive me crazy when I get it wrong. How y'all doing? Told y'all I'll be back. I was on just a few hours ago. We were talking about the family law system as it currently stands. And now it's time for part two. So, you know what I mean? So that's what's up. Thank y'all for coming back. Sister Candace is in the house. Brother Mike is in the house. What's good? Miss AKA Lady, what's happening? What's happening? So glad y'all are here. Thanks for coming. Dr. B up in the house. What's good? That's for all of y'all coming through. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know I went on earlier with part one. I know everyone was working, kind of getting caught up on what was going on with the work week. I get it. But here we are with part two. Brother Doug's in the house. What's good, man? Thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. Thanks for rocking out with me. So, yeah, we were talking about, the family court system. Brother JT jumped on from the What We Know podcast. Please go over there and check out what they got going on there, Brother Rob and Brother JT. Making it happen. Black Man Unfiltered Network. Please check him out as well. That brother has built an entire network. You know what I mean? With a lot of content creators, a lot of hosts doing different topics and stuff like that. Everyone comes together to help each other out. I'm over there as often as I can be. Great place over there, y'all, for real, for real. So, show some love all the way around. Of course, Suzette Speaks. You know what I mean? Definitely check out what she's doing. I was actually in her neck of the woods over the weekend. Didn't get a chance to catch up with her. I hit the ground running. Meetings and stuff like that, trying to get stuff done. But yeah, one of these days I'll definitely catch up with her. But shout out to Suzette Speaks. Go over there and definitely give a subscribe. She has some pretty good shows coming up. She's always grinding. Making things happen. I'm always supporting her. She's like my YouTube mentor. She's always giving me good pointers and stuff like that. As to what I should be doing. So I always appreciate her. And of course, Melanie King. Melanie King's over there doing big things. She's out there cranking as well. I've been on her show more than a few times. In fact, there's some clips out there right now that she actually clipped up some of the segments that we did. And I've actually had people hit me up from the other side of the country. Like, yo, you're in my feed. I'm like, yeah, I told you I'm doing this. So, shout out and salute to everyone out here in these YouTube streets and everyone out here, period, just grinding. Appreciate it. So, part two, like part one, we were talking about the problem. Part two, this right here, we're trying to delve into some solutions. And let me do this before I forget. For anyone who wants to jump in, just going to put the link in here, drop the link right off rip. For anyone who wants to jump in, you guys are more than welcome. I would definitely love to hear your opinions, but part one was about the problem itself, how the system works, why the system works the way it does. I made a lot of comments about, the monetization of children. We talked about why the government and this, that's federal and state government is so keen on child support. And the reason that is for every dollar that the state spends, they're given, or every dollar that the state takes in child support, they're given $1 from the federal government. So, and that money is to help them run the enforcement wing, which is oftentimes a private entity, which is doing business with the state, but is not a part of the state. And that's under Title IV. So it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy when you look at it. But the bottom line, monetizing children and keeping parents away from their children for the purpose of said money, in my opinion, is evil. It just really is. It does a lot more harm than good. And one of the big things too is this takes place in a quote unquote court environment. This really, like, this current system really threatens the rule of law in America. People lie, they act out. There's no respect. There's definitely no respect for law. There's no respect for the judges. It's crazy when you go into family court. Even Brother JT was sharing with us how he was he found himself in contempt of court more than, a couple times when he, kind of lost it because he's just getting brutalized. And we're all human. You just lose it. Like, this is, it's like a circus. It's like a kangaroo court. A lot of times, people feel that way. You know what I mean? And it's, people are like, well, you're in your feelings. It's like, well, bro, you look at it. I can show you transcripts of people lying in court. This family court thing, and nothing is done to them. Nothing at all. And I can show you transcripts where the other party who is playing by the rules, right, is fined. You know what I mean? Or is told to pay all this extra money. Just here to tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. You know what I mean? So, so let's talk about some possible solutions, because the way we're doing it now is just fuel for a fire that just will be no good for America, in my opinion. It would be no good. So, I'll start with, let me pull this up. We'll go with this one. I'm trying to make this a little bigger for you guys. Right. So in part one, we were talking, there were some numbers in part one. There was a number, it was like $3,800 and some odd dollars, which was the average child support paid or owed, however you want to look at it. And there were questions as to, is that a month or is that an annual figure? And I didn't know. And it didn't really specify in the article that I was reading. Sister Jenny, what's up? Just about to talk. And it was Sister Jenny who asked this question. And I see you, love. Let me give you that. Jerry Fitz in the house. What's good, brother Jerry? I see you, man. And there it is. Thank you, Sister Jenny. $3,431. Which, we didn't know if that was monthly, if that was annual. We didn't know. So I did a little bit more. I did a little digging. Just a wee bit of digging. And Sister Jenny, you'll know you got a wrench behind your name because you are amazing. So thank you so much. So I did a little bit of digging, and here it is right here. Typical child support amounts owed. And this is a Very Well Family website. I'm not quite sure who they are. Let's see. We'll jump up to the top and see who they are. This was done by Jennifer Wolf. Fact checked by Adas Chung. So, this is Very Well Family. This is the website. And it looks like this website is all about, parenting and things of that nature. So, again, everything we find on the internet, man, take it with a grain of salt. This looks good. We're going to use their numbers. But again, what do I know? You know what I mean? So, typical child support amount owed. Right. It's like wondering if the child support you owe or receive is typical. Here are the latest figures from 2015 based on the government's child support statistics. So these numbers have probably gone up since then, of course, probably gone way up. So as of 2015, looking at $33.7 billion in child support was owed during the year 2015. The average amount of child support due was $5,760 per year, which was a little bit more than what we were reading before. And that breaks down to that's less than $500 per month. Only 60% of that money, the average of $3,447 per year, was actually received. So there we go. Sister Jenny is like right there. Brother Jerry's like, no kids for me in this country. Yeah, I ain't mad at you, bro. Know the laws. Wherever you decide to make kids, man, make sure you know the laws there. You know what I mean? Brother Michael. Yeah, calm down, Brother Michael. There's a time and a place for everything, including a holla, holla, holla. This is neither. You know what I mean? We on some grown folk stuff right now. And keep in mind, when you shooting your shot, quote unquote, online in this format, it could come across very weird, bro. Like you have to you got to modify your game a little bit. I get it. We definitely want to run the numbers game. I see what you're doing. I understand. But just but you need to understand as well, if you do run across some of these people in real life, they might be real standoffish. Like, oh, that's dude right there that was shooting his shot every time I jumped online. You might, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. You also want to be effective with the way you move in your game. You know what? I'll probably do an episode on that. I'm going to do an episode on womanizing. Fresh and Fit, they're out of the country, so somebody got to step up and do some shit. So it's going to be me and and all the others out there. So, yes, I'm going to do an episode on womanizing. I'm going to do it on Wednesday. I'm going to do it on Wednesday. I'm going to talk about womanizing. I'm going to give you, you know what I'm saying? Womanizing from the perspective of an old dude who's been out there doing this thing. You know what I mean? But like I said, I ain't mad at you, bro. You got to do what you got to do. And you know what? Just because you a day one and you the man, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and rock with you. I'm going to show you how to do it effectively, though. So that's for you, bro. And I appreciate all of the engagement in the chat. You know what I mean? I love it when y'all come out here and you say, I'm a shooter. I ain't mad at you. Oh, Jenny, you're almost as cute as me. That, my friend, is the number one line from the Fresh and Fit world. Shout out Myron Gaines. And I see Brother Michael's been taking notes on that platform. And that line works way better when you in person, my brother. Way better. And Brother Jay, put us on game. I got y'all, man. Wednesday, man. We're going to make that we'll do Wednesday at 6. Yeah, Wednesday at 6. Let me write myself a note right now. Wednesday, 6 p.m. We're going to do some womanizing talk. Can we do 6 p.m.? Yeah, I haven't scheduled anything for Wednesday. So, yeah, Wednesday, 6 p.m., we're going to do some womanizing talk, y'all. I'll see y'all there. So let's get back on mission. So there's the stat right there. This was a pretty good page, so I decided to look at some more stuff. And I mean, this was a pretty good stat right here. Child support agreements in the U.S. According to the Custodial Mothers and Fathers and Their Child Support 2015 report released January 2020, the original release was January 2018. There were 13.6 million custodial single parents living in the U.S. 13.6 million, right? 12.1% are informal child support agreements established between the two parties. 87.9% of those child support agreements are formal agreements established in court or through a Title IV-D agency. About half of them, 50.2%, have some type of legal or informal child support agreement in place. And fewer than one quarter, that's 21.7% of all custodial parents requested government assistance collecting child support. You know what I mean? So we got to look at that typical child support owed. And we just looked here, child support agreements in the U.S. And it goes on. It says that additional child support statistics, and I'll pull this up and I'll scroll up to it in a minute. Awarded child support to fathers 39.6% of the time. I guess, I don't know if that means if fathers were asking for it, they were just awarded it. And then to single mothers, 52.7% of the time. Let me see if I'll pull that up real quick. Guess that would have been down. So here it is right here. Partial payments versus full payments. I didn't really look at this that much. But it says another surprising statistic is how many parents are receiving some money, but far less than what's actually owed. Among the 6.8 million custodial single parents who were awarded child support in 2015, only 43.5% received all the child support money that was due, similar to the 43.4% seen in 2011. 25.8% of custodial parents received some of the money that was due. 30.7% received none of the child support money due. 61.3% of custodial parents received some form of non-cash child support in 2015. And then it goes into additional child support statistics. Another common question about child support is how many women versus men are awarded child support dollars each year. According to the figures from 2015, 39.6% of custodial single fathers were awarded child support during the same year. 52.7% of custodial single mothers were awarded child support. Now, I'm not sure how this works state by state cases. In California, you have to request child support. You have to request an order of child support. If you don't request it, you're not going to get it. So I don't know if this is saying that more women request it versus men, or I don't know if it's saying that when men do request it, only 39.6% of them get it. I don't know what this is saying, but but you see a difference. You know what I mean? That's quite a big jump. 39.6% compared to 52.7%. And I was, kind of trying to, figure it out, but there it is right there. Right. It is right there. You know what I mean? Brother Jason's in the house. What's good, bro? So, we all understand that there's some sort of issue. So I wanted to get into, so those are the stats. I wanted to get into more of the myth. And let me pull up another one. Because, there people say there's the quote unquote myth out there that the court system is biased and, men get the short end of the stick. So we're going to see. And this is from a website of a attorney. Right. So, and I mean, this really looks more like a mediator, or what do you call that when mediator, like you pay them to come sit and you argue your case and then they rule. That's what this seems like to me. And it says, see if I can make this bigger. Don't fall for this child custody myth. If you're seeking custody of your child, the last thing that's going to help you is listening to the myths that simply are not true. One of the most common myths is there's a significant gender bias in the family court system today in 2021. The truth is that bias is uncommon. Again, you got to weigh the source. You know what I mean? This isn't some, state page or federal page or anything like that. This isn't, some government entity. This is just some firm. And just based on anecdotal experience, just talking to different men, I think there's definitely a bias against men when you go into family court. You dig? I don't know, but I'm just going to go with what we see here. They say it's uncommon. So we'll see. People often suggest that family court is based as bias against fathers and have bias towards mothers when it comes to splitting up custody. This isn't true in most cases. In fact, the courts would like to see both mothers and fathers play an active role in their children's lives. Like this wording is real loose. Because from part one, we saw it right there. We were reading how just most red states seem to award children to the mom a very large percentage, more than the blue states. Right. So we know right off rip that what they're saying here isn't 100% accurate. Right. It's a little bit funny the way they word it. Hey, this isn't true in most cases. So what is most? What's percentage of that? You know what I mean? This isn't true in most cases. The courts would like to see both mothers and fathers play a more active role in their children's lives. We saw that there are more states that are changing the laws on the books to get 50-50 right off rip. And to me, that tells me that particular state wants to give equal access to the child to both parents. It should just be 50-50. That's the law. If you don't have that, if it doesn't start there, then I think that there's a bias. And like I said, the red states, luckily Florida is not one of them. The red states are kind of biased. I came out of California. I was in the California family court system. I'm telling you, I could see it, especially in the Van Nuys court. It's documented that the Van Nuys court is a very bad court to go if you are a man. But they made some changes. They moved some judges around. So things might be changing. You know what I mean? Dr. B84, interesting information. I'm glad I'm not paying child support myself. Yeah, child support. The thing is this, man, money is money. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's not the money that's really the problem. It's the system that purposely keeps you away from a child. That's a horrific system. The reason the money comes into play is because the money is based on how much time you spend with your child. And if you're dealing with a person who's all about that bread, they will do whatever they got to do. They will say whatever they got to say to maximize that money. That's the problem. And it seems that the state is okay with that because the state is getting dollar for dollar what from the feds, what parents are paying out in child support, which blew my mind. Think about that. Dollar for dollar, the state is reimbursed by the feds for the amount of money that's ordered, you know what I mean, to pay in child support. That's insane. So with a system like that, it's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's not gonna change. There's just no incentive to change it. Everybody's getting paid except for the person who's hit with the order, be it the mom or the dad. Whoever's paying child support is the only person really losing. And the child, of course, because the child is being kept from a parent. And all this is over money. You know what I mean? Like that is just fundamentally wrong. Like it's evil. There's no other way to put it. It's evil. There's no way to put a whipped cream and cherry on top of this piece of shit, which is what it is. And the whole system is based on that. So things definitely need to change. Brother Doug, that's good to hear. I wanted to see a policy for mandatory 50-50 custody regardless of marital status. That should be the law of the land, my brother. I'm with you on that. You know what I mean? Dr. B, I've heard of some payments being as high as paying rent on an apartment. Yeah, I know people who were paying. I'm not going to use direct numbers, but it was me. You know what I mean? The money I pay in child support for my son, he can rent an apartment, his own apartment in LA, and buy his food and clothes. All that is covered under his child support. He can in LA. Right? He could rent at the time all this was going on. I was paying just about as much for his child support as it was for my rent. And I'm in North Hollywood renting a 2-2 in a real nice building, like a secure pit, decent building. It was nice. It was nice. And it just blew my mind that my 2-year-old could afford to buy the apartment across the hall based on what I was paying. It just didn't make any sense to me. It just didn't make any sense. And the whole incentive was to keep me away from my child because the more time I got to spend with him, the more money I would have had to pay. And the simple thing is this: no matter what, if I had my son half the time, if the judge granted me equal access to my son, I still would have been paying a lot of money, a lot more than the average that we just talked about at the top of this show. I still would have been paying in the vicinity of, 12 to 15, $12,000 to $15,000 a year. You know what I mean? And I would have been paying money regardless, even if even if I got what I wanted. So I'm dealing with a person. It wasn't about money to this individual. It was about something else. Right? It was about something else. And they're using the system to attack individuals. Y'all know I'm a paratrooper. Y'all know I've been to war. I know when I'm being attacked. And the problem with the system is you can't do anything about it but spend more money. Go get attorneys, right? You're going back and forth with phone calls and hearings and meetings and this and that. It adds up fast. It adds up fast. And Brother Mike's like, yeah. And the DNA test, absolutely. That should be, as soon as you go to family court, whoever the petitioner is, and the petitioner is the person who's making a request for, a custody hearing or child support or whatever, whoever files the paperwork, however it gets filed, that should be the first thing. DNA test. Now, if the male involved wants to, waive the DNA test, that's his prerogative. But he should have sign a form that says, I am waiving the DNA test requirement. He has to sign that form. Like, I understand what I'm doing. I'm in sound mind. I know what I'm doing. Now, that's on him. If it comes back 15 years later that that's not his biological kid, he can't sit there and say, oh, no, I want my money back. Nah, bro, you should have got the DNA test at the beginning of the process like the law states. That's how it should be. And it should be 50-50 right off rip. Just like y'all saying, man. I agree with y'all. Brother Doug, I also see mandatory paternity tests at birth also regardless of marital status. Absolutely. That should be the thing. And Brother Mike is also, commented on that. Sister Candace's question is, why is there no accounting for how the child support is spent when given to the woman in most cases? It is illegal in most states to even ask. Now, that's changing. You can request that your child support is placed on one of those credit card type systems, you know what I mean, like an EBT kind of thing. So whatever money is being spent, it can be tracked. However, you need a court order for that. Again, that should be standard. This is how you get paid. You know what I mean? So it can be tracked. You know what I mean? Why is little Jimmy, why is this baby shopping at the Louis Vuitton store on his child support card? You know what I mean? Why is this little baby buying Prada sunglasses? Right? Why is this little baby getting, you know what I mean, a Chanel bag? Why is this little baby eating at Nobu? You know what I mean? Of course, there's ways to defeat that, but still, you can see that. You know, why is this child getting $500 a week in groceries? Kids only 2, kids only 3, kids only 4. So yeah, that should be the law of the land. These are all common sense things, and that's definitely part of the solution, Sister Candace. Excellent point. Yeah, Dr. B, LA, sheesh, you had to get out of there, bro. I don't know how long LA is gonna last. I'm serious. Y'all know I've done a bunch of shows on LA, like Get Out Now, telling you what's going on out there. It's insane. I do not know how long LA is gonna last. I know Hollywood is not helping things. Hollywood done lost their mind. They keep making these crappy movies and dumping on the fans, like Marvel fans, DC fans. You know what I mean? They got this, look at what's going on with the Lord of the Rings stuff. Like all the fans are mad because it's a crappy stories coming out and people like just aren't spending their money. So Hollywood is starting to lose money. Look what they did with the Woman King. Right now, Woman King. I don't know what Hollywood was thinking. We talked about this on the History of Warrior Women on this platform. Go back and watch that show. Rook talked about this. He was like, I don't know what Hollywood is thinking. The homies? Are you serious? And he broke down why way back then. Go back and check it out. The Warrior Women throughout history. We did that show for Miss Globe Girl. It was a really good show. But Rook talked about this on that show. It's like, yo, do y'all know who the Dahomey are or who they were? And that's what's going on right now. Hollywood, I think it's a matter of time before there's some sort of collapse. I think they're going to need federal money to bail out that state. And that's one of the top GDPs in the world. And they're going to need some help. I'm telling you, you look at what's going on out there. People are leaving, their taxes, all that kind of stuff, man. This is part and parcel to the problem. People are like, forget this, man. And this is why their child support is going to continue to stay out there and stay high, because that's the income stream. Remember, they get dollar for dollar. Every dollar that they receive in child support, the government gives them $1. That's insane. That's insane. And yes, that was a great question. This stuff is common sense. Yeah, bro, I'm a Bengals fan, bro. We 0-2. We got problems. We got problems. Man, it's my fault too. I bet the one person out here in Tampa that's just, this man does so well betting. So preseason, I was like, man, $100, we go to the postseason. He was like, I don't know. I'm like, come on, man, $100, come on. And he took that bet, and we start off, we 0-2. I'm like, we in trouble. I'm in trouble. It might be my fault. We got a bad season this year. It might be my fault. I bet the wrong dude. Sister Candace, also, if it's already been predetermined the average cost to raise a child through age 18, why would a child support order be higher than those costs? Again, there should be caps. Another excellent point. There should be caps. I brought that up more than once on some other platforms we were talking about. It was on actually it was Black Man Unfiltered. On one of those shows, we were talking about this very subject, and I brought that up. the cost to raise a child to age 18 in California was like maybe $150,000 more than the average cost for the rest of the country or something like that. So I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 300, maybe 400,000. I forget. I didn't write it down, but we know how much it costs to raise a child everywhere. In California, is definitely higher than most states, but even there should be a cap. All right, you pay the max. If you're at a certain financial status, is how much you make, you pay the max. And it shouldn't be, you shouldn't have cases where people are paying, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in child support. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Brother Doug, with the decline in marital and birth rates, I believe we will see more changes in the family court system in the near future. Less children being birthed, the less potential taxpayers. Yeah, we're gonna have a problem. But here in America, we just let more people in. You know what I mean? So we can have low birth rates, but it's not gonna affect us like it does. It's gonna affect China. It's not gonna affect us like it's affecting Japan. Right? As nice as Japan is, people don't want to live there. Plus, the Japanese don't tend to like outsiders. Same thing in China. No one's going to move to China, right? The Communist Party is crazy. You're always going to have people who want to move to America. I mean, you look at it right now with the problem with, DeSantis flying, undocumented persons to Martha's Vineyard. These people are playing with other people's lives, man. That shit's wrong in my opinion. But anyway, that's a different topic. But there's always going to be people who want to come to America and they have kids and they're going to make kids when they get here. Because I was thinking what you was thinking, Brother Doug. I'm like, man, it might get to a point where people are forced to have kids. The government might start, paying people to have kids, but we'll just bring more foreigners in. At least that's what I think. Sister Jenny, anyone receiving child support should be forced to take a finance and budgeting class. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah. I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I mean? It makes sense. It really does make sense. You going out here blowing your child support money on a 95-inch TV and you coming back to the court saying I need more money. Miss AKA lady, I really don't understand keeping the kids away from the other parent. Raising kids take a lot of energy. Cooperating gives parents a chance to rest and gives the kids get equal parental influence. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I absolutely agree. It doesn't, like I said, it's evil. It doesn't make sense. It only hurts the children. And one of the things you hear in family court over and over again, we're doing what's in the best interest of the child. No, you are not. You're doing what's in the best interest of the state. You're doing what's in the best interest of this machine that we've created. It's just it's a money making machine. Billions of dollars a year in this industry. And that's what it is. It's an industry. So no, they're not doing what's in the best interest of the child, especially when you have two parents. I went into my situation a single parent. I'm already a single parent and I'm in court fighting to get equal access to a child. I have more experience than the other person. Both of us worked. I asked the judge, like, look, Your Honor, our child's in daycare. You know what I mean? At the time, my son was barely 18 months. He's in daycare. I'm off 2 days during the week. Can I at least pick up my child from daycare and pick him up after mom drops him off and bring him back before mom comes back on my 2 days off? Can I at least do that? The judge said no. It made no sense whatsoever. I have another child. You can't say I don't know what I'm doing. You can't say I'm not financially responsible. Y'all taking all this money from me. The judge said no. Why did the judge say no? Because that would have reduced the amount of money I had to pay in child support. That's my opinion. And you can't ask the judge why. You can't question the bench. Again, I'm in there looking at this kangaroo court like, this is what I went to war to protect. This is what I put my life on the line for. This. You going to treat me like that? Me. Nah. Best believe when I was sitting there, I was having thoughts of burning it all down. We went to faraway lands and we fought tyranny. You know what I mean? This is a form of tyranny. Like, how you gonna tell us we gonna go over here and shut down the Iranians, the Iraqis, you know what I mean? We want the North Koreans, the Russians for being bad people, but this is what we doing to our own people. Doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. I don't have a criminal record. I'm a veteran of a foreign war. I'm doing really well. I pulled myself up. I don't understand this. How is it that stranger sitting up there in the black robe gets to tell me with all the attitude in the world that I can't be with my child? Are you serious? This is where the anger comes from. This is a serious problem. Average folks who go through the family law system have no respect for law. So when they find themselves in the criminal law system, they still gonna act the way they was acting in the other one. This is a problem. This is a serious problem, America. And we need to do something about it. We need to do something about it. Brother Michael, it's all about the money. It is. It actually is. Brother Jason, a man's child support payment should be reported on his credit report as on-time payments. Well, I never thought about that. But that would, yeah. They don't put it on there for positive, but they damn sure put it on there once it's negative. Wow. And that's what Brother JT was talking about in part 1. You see how fractured our system is. So you're going to use this child support payment as a negative. If you can't make the money, it's going to go on your credit report. But if you are paying it, it doesn't make it on your credit report. It can never be a positive, only a negative. That needs to be changed, right? So 3 things right there. We got 3 things. 3 things that we can go to our elected officials with, y'all. This is what I need y'all to do. Continue this conversation. Let this conversation get to the elected officials. Right off rip, every child support case, whether you're married or not, it should be a DNA test. That should be part of the initial process. As soon as you file it, you get a DNA test. Right? Now, if someone doesn't want to take it, they can sign a waiver. At least the man gets an opportunity to sign the waiver. If he says, I don't want to take it, that's on him. But at least he had the opportunity. 1, 2, it should be mandatory across the board. Unless there's a reason why, some sort of felony, some violent crime, some, drug use, alcohol abuse, something. Outside of that, if it's just 2 people with no records, just regular folks, you go to custody hearing for child support, not just child support, but for custody, it should be 50-50. That should be the law. It should be 50-50. Right? Number 3, there should be caps based on where you live. This is how much it costs to raise a kid. If you live in a part of the country where the average is $200,000 to raise a child, let's say the 20%, the top 20% are spending $200,000 to raise their child or whatever it is, just making up numbers. It should be a cap. It should be a cap, and that cap should apply for people at the lower end of the spectrum, the middle, like the middle part of the spectrum, and then the high part. It should be 3 tiers. Tiers 1, 2, and 3. 3 being the highest, that's the cap. You know what I mean? So, or it's a percentage of your income or however we're going to do it, but there should be a cap. This is how much money it costs to raise a child in this area. The child support should not exceed that. And keep in mind, if it's $200,000 to raise a child over 18 years, that means the other parent is responsible for $100,000 of that, right? Half. Right? In that, if you agree with me or no on that one, it should be half. And then finally, number 4, those child support payments should reflect positively on your credit report if you're making on-time payments, negatively if you are not. That was a good one, Brother Jason. That's a real good one. I did not know that until today when Brother JT brought it up and you were able to bring it home. Sister Candace says, they say eggs are expensive and sperm is cheap, but when it comes to child support, it's reversed. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? You know what I mean? And I'm definitely going to do a womanizing show on Wednesday for the late show, and for the early show on Wednesday, I might do a show about male and female dating strategies. I might do that. Male and female dating strategies. So that'll be like Wednesday, probably at noon. I'll do the dating strategy show. And then Wednesday at 6, I'll do the womanizing show. But yeah, y'all on fire tonight, though. See how easy it is if people just get together and talk, we might be able to solve some real problems. Like, why is this so difficult? I'll tell you why. Our political system is flushed with dark money. It's all about the money. Every time money's involved, it's going to be a problem. This is a problem, right? It just, women tend to benefit more from this sort of thing. It is what it is. I ain't tripping, but it's going to be really hard to get said women to make it right. I mean, people just don't want, if they're getting the benefit, they ain't gonna want to give it back. And this really is a benefit. But again, I think that's going to change because women are making more money. And I think over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see women getting hit with child support orders, women getting hit with alimony orders, women losing their homes because they're the breadwinners. And then the guy might just get fed up and file for a divorce. And once that happens, we're definitely going to see some changes. Definitely going to see some changes. Brother Jerry, how long do you think till all this collapses on itself? All the corruption and money grab can't be sustained long term, and children and women will be the ones who suffers the most. Hey, that's a good question, bro. Like, how long do I think till it collapses? I don't know, but you see what's going on in LA. I keep using LA as an example because I think LA is a sign of things to come for this, this upcoming recession that people are saying it's not going to be that bad for the next 18 to 24 months for the next 2 years. It could be really bad. You see people are leaving California, right? You see guys out here, young men are talking about leaving America, becoming expats in places like Colombia, the Philippines, Thailand, Brazil, right? Young American men are leaving. I don't want to tie that, I don't want to tie that into this story, but that's the problem. And if America is really counting on this child support money, these passport boys are getting women pregnant in foreign lands. Now, I'm pretty sure they'll probably come up with a way that they can get some of that money. But these guys are going over there and falling in love with women. And these women are feminine. These women are fit. These women are friendly. They're like, man, I just stay over here and get married. I'm working remotely. I'm starting my life over here in the Philippines. The women in the Philippines are absolutely stunning. And they take care of you. And they don't care if you tall or short. You know what I mean? Because that's most of the men in their country are short. The average American goes over there. He's like a tall dude. He'd be like 5'9", but over there 5'10", but over there he's like a 6-footer. This is going to be a problem. This is definitely going to be a problem for America. We were talking about the United States military having trouble meeting their recruitment goals, right? We got all these soft males out here. You got these podcasts like Man Enough Podcast, which I've been following. I had to stop. They started, they really showed their colors on their latest episode for a hot second. They really showed their colors. And it's like, cool, that's fine. If you want to be a soft male and you want to, plug into your emotions and be all that, go ahead and do that. You're an American. Go ahead and do that. That's fine. But when the warriors and the men, like the males who want to be men, when they begin to leave, America has a problem. With all of our military might, with all of our technology, it still takes an individual with a weapon, with his feet on the ground, to hold a territory, to hold the ground. We can blow a place up. We can send in drones. We can send in the Air Force. We can run the infantry guys off. But as soon as those airplanes leave, as soon as the artillery stops, those guys are going to come back in. So it's always going to take an American with a rifle to hold that territory. And we have a whole society of males who don't want to fight. They don't want to do that. They want to do their nails and do their hair and, get massages and get waxings and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to do. Have at it. That's your right as an American, man. That's what I fought for. That's what I jumped for. I was out there putting my life on the line so you can get a perm. More power to you. But guess what? When my daughter's grown, I'm gone. I've had enough of America. Don't ask me to come fight. I'm gone. Do what you will with the Constitution. I'll be in Medellin. So how long would it take, brother? I don't know. Keeping it 100, I don't know. But I can see it coming. I can see it coming. Grio's Vision, what's good, brother? Welcome. As Myron says, women only complain about equality when it didn't benefit them. Yeah, they only care. Women, people, I'm not even going to say women. People only complain about a double standard when that double standard doesn't benefit them. Men too. Let's just keep it 100, bro. You know what I mean? Men and women. yeah, it seems to be more women because of the feminist ideals and all that. Yeah, I'm with you. But I've seen men do it too. Trust me, bro. If there was a law to guarantee every fat dude who lives in his mama's basement a dime, that law would never change. That law would never, ever change. Or I could just be fat, live in my mom's basement, stink. You know what I mean? Not even try to work on myself and I get a dime. Myron says that all the time. Bro, if that was the case, man, you would never get that. Man, that fat dude to get up and fight you, you try to take that law away. Right? Am I lying? You feel me? So I can't be mad, man. Like I say, bro, I'm all about hating the game. I ain't going to hate the players. I ain't going to hate the players, bro. I'm just going to hate the game. And in America, like my situation with my son, bro, I am responsible for that situation. I did what I did. I knew what it was. This ain't brand new. I knew what it was. I allowed my emotions out. I really did. I made a bad call. So I'm going to deal with that. I make the best decision I can. I keep my entire family, both my children in mind. I can't go out and do what I was thinking about doing because now both my children will suffer. So I'm not going to do that. I just had to make a real tough call. I talked to my circle. I talked to the people in my circle. They helped me make my decision, and I did it. I did what was best for my children. Tough call. Damn tough call, right? I spent a career making tough calls as air traffic controller. Man, you make tough calls all the time. So it was my responsibility. And that's one of the things I tell to those guys out there to be crying. Quit crying, man. You did it. You shouldn't have did what you did. With who you did it with. It's on you. But no, man, this, but no, man, that. Man, fuck that, bro. You did it. You did it. You know what I'm saying? Now be accountable for yourself and your deeds and handle this. Like I said, it's only going to boil down to money. So make it. Go out there and get that bread. You feel me? But that's where we are right now. Sister Candace, it's said that a signature on a birth certificate is weighted more heavily than establishing actual paternity. Yes. So many brothers are paying child support for children that are not theirs. Yeah, you know what's funny about that? Most of those dudes know they're not the father. That's how bad they want a woman. That's how bad they want companionship. That is what they are willing to do to get consistent sexual access. They will raise someone else's child. Alpha fucks, beta bucks. These dudes will do it. And the sad part is when that woman decides she's done, like she done found a better dude, he has no legal claim to that child in most states. That's a shame. And he could still be hit with child support even though he's not the biological father. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I mean, Brother Michael? It's crazy, Uncle, because you served our country and this is how you were treated coming back to the States. You're a real one, DL. Hey, thanks, man. Like I said, bro, I appreciate that, though, for real. I appreciate that, man. I really do. It was all good until this. I was cool on everything. I said this in part one. I've been through a lot of shit in my day, man. I'm not trying to brag or whatever, but I've been through a lot of shit in my day. And I'm talking about hyper violence. I'm always talking to y'all about hyper violence. I know what it looks like. Most people don't, right? I knew it before I joined the military. I was shot at long before I went to war. You know what I'm saying? Them streets ain't playing. I went through that. Joined the Army during wartime. I knew I was getting deployed. I went through that. You know what I mean? I was a paratrooper. Very, very dangerous occupation. Jumping out of airplanes, bro, is dangerous. You feel me? I got down. You know what I mean? I loved it. I was out there. It didn't bother me. I was out there with this shit.
Get some.
I was out there with this shit.
Get some.
You know what I mean? Firefights and all that good shit in the streets. You know what I mean? Get them on guard duty. People taking pot shots at us over there by King 5 military complex over there in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? I've been out there. Bombs going off. Friendly fire. Scared the shit out of us. Been there. Never had a problem with any of that. You know what I'm saying? I had one issue when I first got in country. One issue, and I said it in one of my shows. I might say it again one of these days, but it was one issue. But after that issue, I was good to go. This shit was like 2 hours. 2 hours of some bullshit. After that, I was good to go. Never had an issue. Ready for whatever. Down for whatever. I've always been that way. But here I am. I find myself in the Van Nuys courtroom, just outside of the court chambers, sitting there, and I suffered a panic attack. I had no idea what the fuck it was. I couldn't breathe. It was crazy. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? And then it struck me like, this is a panic attack. I knew it was a panic attack because I had people tell me about panic attacks and I made fun of them. I'm like, man, you just a punk. Get your ass up, airboy. No such thing as a panic attack. We would grab them and force them forward. It was a panic attack. I've been through so much prior to that. And never in my life have I experienced anything like that before, a panic attack. And it happens often when I deal with these to this day. When I got to deal, I know I feel it coming, right? I do what I know what I need to do to calm myself. You know what I mean? I can handle it, but it's panic. I deal with it. To this day, I deal with it. It's crazy, y'all. This is what it's doing to men. This is what it's doing to other people. And then we're talking about a country who cares about others and this and that. I'm surprised I didn't have a stroke. You know what I mean? I got health conditions. You know what I mean? I'm surprised I didn't drop dead. I'm serious. Over this. All the shit I've been in my life. All the shit I managed to get myself in and out of. You know, the shit I've been into, the things I've seen. And this, right, this is the thing that breaks me down. It's crazy how the world works, y'all. My bad for going off. Polynesian, my ear, Brother Michael. Yeah, it's going down over there. Brother Jason, I just got my Rosetta Stone. Thailand, here I come. I ain't mad at you. I don't know any Thai. I don't know any Thai, but I've seen some beautiful Thai women. Bro, look out for the lady boys. That's all I got to say about that. Look out for the lady boys. They pretty too. But with all this surgery and technology, be careful, my brother. Don't need Rosetta Stone. Yeah, they speak English just fine. That's real talk. See, we got passport boys up in here. Y'all know what time it is. You know what I mean? Y'all know what time it is. Brother Jerry been there 5 times, about to get that dual citizenship. That's a smart move, man. Get another passport. Oh, that's smart. That's a W right there, Brother Jerry. That's a W. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Brother Jason, how much and how long do the fights be? It depends, man. It depends on what kind of conflict you're talking about, bro. You look at Fallujah. I mean, they was getting at it, bro. They was getting at it over there. You know what I mean? Both Fallujahs, right? They had a surge. It depends on, you know, what theater of operation, you know, operations and all that kind of stuff. Generally though, when you're like in urban environments, especially when someone rolls up on you, bro, like those type of, you know, engagements, those entanglements, they're quick. Somebody comes up, you know what I mean? We didn't have to deal with IEDs wasn't a thing back then. So, you know, if somebody's going to come up, they'll just take some, you know, pop some rounds off at you and they'll be gone. You know what I mean? They're normally coming from, you know, behind some building or something like that or out of some window. And by the time you know, before you realize what's going on, it's over. You know what I mean? Before you realize what's going on, it's over, bro. On the street, same thing. Same thing, bro. Like somebody comes for you. You know, most guys on the streets, they're not carrying extra ammo like that. They're not carrying combat loads. They don't even have the type training. So somebody comes up, pop off some rounds. They might have 1 or 2 mags on them. Generally speaking, maybe 2, 3 at that most. Most people don't carry 3. And it's handguns mostly. If somebody comes out with an assault weapon, generally speaking, they don't have a bunch of extra ammo. The weirdos do. The guys who go out there, you know, looking for that sort of thing. The active shooters, they tend to. But if they're faced with someone who is armed and trained just a little bit, the active shooters will run. You look at what happened in Indiana when that young brother engaged an active shooter and it was like 40 yards away. He fired 10 rounds, scored 8 hits. You know, he had a Glock. The active shooter had an assault style rifle. So it depends, man. There's no, you know what I mean? You just don't know, bro. You can find yourself in firefights that last a week. You know what I mean? Or you can find yourself in a firefight that lasts a matter of seconds. You know what I mean, Brother Jerry? 18 from Cali, 8 to 2,000, depending on how far in advance you book. Oh, yeah, it's not that bad. So you said how much the flights be? I thought, Brother Jason, I thought you said how much the fights be. I misread that. Yeah, I should put my glasses on. My bad. I was talking about all that stuff, and that's not even what you were asking. Oopsie. Let me get myself the.
You big dummy.
Yeah, that's for me. Oh, my favorite Marines in the house. What's good, Brother Marcus? How you feeling, bro? How are you feeling? Shout out to you, bro. Sister Candace. My husband's friend is on the hook for child support because he signed a birth certificate. He shouldn't have done that. He has since established he is not the biological father, though, through the court system, but he's still on the hook. He is. You never want to do that, fellas. If you find yourself in a situation with a woman and y'all not married and she's like, you're the father, I wouldn't sign a birth certificate. You can always go back and have yourself added to the birth certificate. It's really hard to get your name off the birth certificate. So, yeah, I know that for a fact, especially in California. I don't know how the other I don't know how the other states are. Sister Candace can't get out of payments, nor can he recoup the money from the mother. It's a vicious business, man. And I mean, if the government pays the state $1 for every dollar, dollar for dollar what they get in child support, if that money goes back, I wonder if the state have to reimburse the feds. That might be a thing. The state's like, we ain't paying the feds back nothing. So it's like, you stuck with it, bro. You know what I mean? So we was able to get through all that. I just wanted to catch up with the chats. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's back to this myth. Back to this myth. This looks like, in fact, the courts would like to see both mothers and fathers, play an active role in their children's lives. I believe this, but only to an extent. Because if this were the case, we wouldn't have had this conversation. It would be 50-50. This thing could easily be fixed. Why do people perceive a bias in family court? There are a few reasons why people believe there is a bias against fathers in family court, even though that is rarely true. He says rarely. So it is true. They're not denying it. They're just trying to say it's rarely true. It doesn't happen nearly as much as you think. Really? And these may include that some fathers are absent or choose to spend little time with their children. These aren't the guys we're talking about, right? These are normally the deadbeat dudes who don't have money. They don't really work jobs. Like some guy working at McDonald's and he got like 14 kids by like 16 baby mamas, right? He's just like, yeah, I'll sign that. I don't care. We're not talking about that guy, right? The courts weigh in custody based on who takes care of the children more often and who has a stronger bond. I mean, that's just bullshit for today's world. That's just bullshit. More women are stay-at-home parents, which would mean that they have more time to bond with their children and may have a stronger case for primary custody. I mean, I could see that, but I mean, I just don't think that's the case anymore. Stay-at-home moms are frowned upon by other women. They're frowned upon on. You know what I mean? They I don't know. I mean, sure. I would agree that there are some stay-at-home moms out there, but I don't think that that's the norm. I don't think that's nowhere near the rule. I would personally say that's the exception to the rule, but I don't have any numbers to back that up. That's just me talking. Right? Fathers may be the breadwinners, so they are outside the home more often and cannot take on as much custody as a result. But women are breadwinners now. Women are in school and graduating from college more than men. This trend is going to continue, so they're going to be making more money. We talked about that in part 1. Right? These reasons don't discount the idea that some men may deal with biases in court. Here they go again. They know it exists. They know it exists. They're just trying to be fancy with the words. They're like, yeah, man, they just don't want to come out and tell you. If a bias is suspected for any reason, it's essential that your attorney looks into the concerns and takes action when needed. But there's not much that they can do about it. That's the problem. There's not much they can do about it. There was a notorious judge in California in the Van Nuys court. The system finally caught up with her, but she was removed from one court, but placed in another. She wasn't, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, when you got the touchy-feely priest and the Catholic Church comes in and moves them out of one church and puts them in another. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. So, and they don't go back and review the cases. They don't go back and look for the wrongdoing. They don't want to. Again, they might be forced legally to change some of these custody orders and some of these child support orders. They don't want to do that. That's just my opinion, but they don't want to do that. You know what I mean, Brother Jason? The street fighting shit was very interesting. You should do an episode on gun battles. Maybe. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I mean, that shit I don't even like thinking about anymore, bro. I really don't. But maybe it won't necessarily. If I do it, it won't necessarily be on gun battles per se. It would be on, Stand Alert. It'd be on maybe like gun safety, Stand Alert, talking about different types of weapons, like talking about, home security and that sort of thing, maybe I would do that. But I don't really want to talk about, straight up gunfights like firefights. I don't want to give the wrong idea. You know what I mean? I don't want people to think this shit's cool, because it's not. You know what I mean? But maybe, bro. I'm gonna put that in the back of my mind. But Jay Swans and I are definitely gonna do a show about the best weapons for home defense. We're definitely gonna do that. We're gonna talk about training and different ways to train. We're gonna talk about all that kind of good stuff. We just have to pick a date, but we're definitely gonna do that. I'm looking forward to that show. We got all these people going around with these big weapons for home defense. You need to be smart about it. And then we talk about different types of ammunition, for different types of weapons, for different types of situations. We're going to talk about maintenance, talk about training. So you can definitely bet on that episode coming up here pretty quick. Brother Vikings in the house. What's good, bro? Supporting from the clouds again. Thank you. Please hit the like button. So yeah, thank you. So we've talked about this, right? I think that if you were to poll most Americans, they will say, yeah, there's a bias there. There's a gender bias. They would definitely say, yeah, man, get the short end of the stick. You know what I mean? They would definitely say that. But there's another one. I don't want to end on that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always trying to look for some solutions. That's what this part 2 was about. Maybe let's find some solutions. And I found something that was very, very cool. It was very, very cool. I found it under the FamilyLawyerMagazine.com. I guess they've been around for 10 years. Let me pull that up. And when I read it, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is what's up. You know what I mean? Like, for real, this is what's up. I've never heard of this. Again, take everything with a grain of salt, but I've never heard of this. You know what I mean? This platform, this website, you know what I mean? And it talks about the underlying problems with our family law system. And they had some really good points here. Some really good points. And I'm not going to read through the whole thing. But it's really cool. And it basically talks about how the system as it stands is not equipped to deal with the problems, right? And it says right here, the inherent problem with our current family law system is that it is not designed to therapeutically resolve the issues facing families in today's society, the breakup of marriages, and the result of the issues arising with custody of children, financial support of children and spouses, and the behavior of all concerned are not properly addressed by our traditional confrontational legal system. They have a really good point there, right? The way it's set up, it's like, yo, what are we doing? It's you know what I mean? You go in, the judges can only do so much, and then they have their mandates. We've already talked about all the money and all that kind of stuff and how the state benefits from it and all this kind of stuff, this Title IV stuff and all that. We look at this. And maybe there are a lot of judges out there. There must be. There has to be a lot of judges out there who see that this is wrong. This is not just, but their hands are tied as to what they can do about it. That change must come from the politicians. And the only way the politicians are going to do it if the people step forward and demand the changes. So when you look at that, like, an adversarial family law system traumatizes divorcing parties. It's real talk. Like, I find that most people going through a divorce process are already traumatized by the breakdown of their marriage, and going through the courts only adds to that trauma. Appearing in front of a black robed judge separated from the parties by a high bench is nerve-wracking. Yes, it is. I can tell you that firsthand. I'd rather be in a firefight than deal with that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. At least in a firefight, I have a chance. I have been divorced twice. And even as a seasoned trial attorney, I remember how daunting the experience was. And that's crazy. He's in the business, and he goes in there and he's like, damn, this is crazy. Right. So most divorcing individuals believe that the family law system is not fair to one group or another. And in some cases, they are right. One belief is that fathers, particularly black fathers, are not treated fairly in custody issues. I can co-sign on that. Another belief is women are not treated fairly in support issues. The result is that many family lawyers advertise that they specialize in representing fathers slant men or mothers slant women to address those hoping to level the playing field. And Brother JT was talking about that in part one, where you got these firms that specialize in helping men. And what's the first thing he said? Yeah, bro, that retainer is going to be $10,000 up front, 10 grand, 10,000 to get started. And you know they're going to need more money. It's right there. So this is the part I really wanted to get to. The current family law system requires radical reforms. Instead of inflicting the current family court system on them, we should assign all divorce support and parenting matters to a tribunal. Sorry, my mouth ain't working. That only hears those types of cases. The tribunal would be informal and concerned primarily with the collaborative effort of the concern for the best result for all concerned. Each case could have a panel of 3 professionals, a lawyer, a family counselor, and an accountant, all of whom are familiar with the issues facing a dissolving family. These professionals would be paid by the state. When I saw this, I'm like, that's it right there. That's it. I've often wondered, why the hell are we in court? Why are we in here in a court? We got sheriffs over here with weapons. Got this person up here to judge. We got all this formalities going on. Why are we in court? This doesn't make any sense. I can't tell you how many times I thought about that. Sister Candace, money is the root of all evil. It should never be implemented into a father seeing his child. It should never be an impediment to a father seeing his child. You're right. You're right. Money is the root of all evil. It never should get in the way of or a mother for that matter. I mean, it's rare, but it happens to moms too. They find themselves in a situation where, they were making more money. They're paying child support. They're fighting to get equal access to their child. It happens. It's rare, but it happens. People are less likely to do the right thing when they are financially incentivized to do the opposite. Absolutely. Like I said, it's hard to get that up. It's hard to get that up. You getting the money, you don't want to give it back, man. It's hard to do the right thing. It really is. You know what I mean? And just, like I said, I hate the game. I don't hate the players, but I certainly hate the game. If a case involves financial irregularities or needed forensic accounting, the panel could refer certain issues to an approved financial analyst who would be paid by the parties. It would be assumed that only people with higher levels of assets or income would need such an expert. This would apply to people involved in closely held businesses or complicated financial transactions. Again, that makes sense. You got a lawyer, you got a counselor, you got an accountant. It's for regular folks. We're going to go through your stuff. Boom. No problem. If y'all high earner people, you know, a Bitcoin guy or a self-made man or a self-made woman, actor, producer, whatever. Yeah, we got to bring in the big dogs and y'all going to pay for it. Y'all being the two people involved. Y'all going to pay for it. The setting would be informal, such as at an office or business conference room. Parties will have filled out forms to ascertain assets, income, special needs, and other issues needed to be addressed. Presumptive levels of support and division of assets would already be determined through the attorneys to be reviewed by the panel. If either party had an exception to the presumptions, they would discuss it with the panel. That makes sense. Y'all gonna sit down with the attorney. We're gonna break all this down. You know what I mean? You got the accountant there again. We're gonna break everything down. Now we're gonna present this to, we know what we're going into this meeting with. Hey, y'all look this over. Your attorneys put this together. Y'all present it to the panel, and they're gonna do their thing. Since the panel will be experienced in the issues, legal or financial issues could be worked out in a collaborative manner involving mediation if necessary. We need to eliminate the climate of win, slant, lose from the process. If the parties knew what to expect, the result would be less traumatic. That's real talk. This is coming from an attorney. Apparently this person is in the business Makes a lot of sense. Everyone will be subject to uniform ground rules of behavior. Each parent will have equal rights to custody and to be adjusted with the consent of the panel and the parents. Right? So right off rip, 50-50, unless the parents need something else. That makes sense. You have to run it by the panel. They're not going to get in the way. I'm like, this is what y'all want. That makes sense. Bam, show it. Court-appointed counselors will be available to help guide the parents and children through this new phase of their life. The combative nature of the divorce process will be eliminated. With uniform ground rules, there will be no need for people to feel victimized by the system. Makes a lot of sense to me. Fathers would know what to expect. Mothers would know what to expect. There would be no need for lawyers to be a husband/father attorney or a wife/mother attorney. The priority with these panels is to help the parents learn how to problem solve peacefully and respectfully. Education and parenting classes will be mandatory. Financial counseling will be mandatory. If the parties fail to comply with the panel ruling on support. In other words, people would be given help, not jail sentences. If a panel believe that the participants are willfully ignoring or failing to comply, they will be assigned to the criminal court dockets for harsher guidance. That's it right there. That's the fix. That's the fix right there. That's it. You know what I mean? That's the answer. You're still going to have some sort of child support in there. The state's still going to get their money from the feds because there's going to be a child support order that comes out of this. It's just not going to come in that format that we're accustomed to now, dealing with the black robe judge and all this kind of stuff. There's a panel there. It's going to make sense. Hey, man, it just have to make sense. 50-50 right off the rip. We ain't really got to talk about custody. And then for those people who want to really be knuckleheads about it, you don't want to play fair, fine. This is a criminal case now. There's only going to be one court. It's a criminal court. You are failing to comply with this legal action. Now go deal with the judge. And that's a world that the judges understand. This is what you're here for. I'm going to give you this court order. And if you don't follow, we're going to lock you up. Period. I think, that's something we should try. Brother Doug, I don't blame money. I blame greed. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, bro. It's greed. Yeah, I feel you. But there's a lot of people who will just be like, well, I didn't ask for this. The judge gave it to me. Like, you ain't got to take it. You know what I mean? You don't need the court order. It doesn't have to be, garnishments and all this kind of stuff. So you're right, though. It's greed, I guess. I mean, it's just hard to do the right thing, y'all. Sometimes it's hard to do the right thing. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's it right there in a nutshell. That's how we fix the system. At least we can make those changes and see how that goes for a while. We already know how the current system is going. And if we don't want to mandate the judges do certain things, i.e. the 50-50 custody, i.e. the DNA test, all that should be required. A judge can't waive it. It has to happen. Only people can waive it. The DNA test can only be waived by the man involved. If that man chooses to waive the DNA test, he has to sign it, and that's it. He can't cry about it later. 50-50 should be it's 50-50 custody. How y'all want to do that? And if the parents are like, well, one parent or the other, like, I can't do that, I have to do this, then fine. Either y'all come up with a schedule that works, but once you deny your 50%, your equal access, do we, do we go to the way that they do the child support now or however? I don't know. But we can see that there should be some changes. The DNA test, the 50-50. You know what I mean? I like the idea of taking it out of a courtroom and putting it in a more relaxed environment. Right? We're basically, breaking up this marriage. Sit down. It's going to be tears. Somebody's going to be crying. They got all these emotional males these days. They might be in there crying. You give them something, Give them a little counseling. You can give the room to them and the counselor so they could talk a little bit, kind of piece them back together. When they're ready, start the proceedings up again. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be difficult. But when you have the current system we have now, win, lose, someone has to win, someone has to lose. I mean, that's a fight. That's a fight that could go on indefinitely. It could go on not indefinitely, but going for 18 years. That's a fight. I've been in court every single year that my son's been alive. The judge has seen me more than I've seen my own child. It's crazy. Why? You know what I mean? Why? And maybe Brother Doug is right. Maybe it is greed. That other person just sees money. You know, or it could be that other person is just hurt. And they're trying to hurt others, right? What does Charlemagne the God says? Hurt people hurt people. Maybe it's that. Well, I'm just going to drag us through court every year because I know you don't like it. I saw your podcast. I was ninja watching and you get panic attacks. So I'm just going to keep doing it. Even though it's costing you money that we could be spending on our child. Right? All this money, right? If the court awards you $30,000 or $40,000 a year, you got to pay the attorney $45,000. How does that make sense? And the court doesn't care. They get dollar for dollar. They're getting 40 grand too from the feds. You know what I mean? Like, this whole system just doesn't work, Brother Jason. They're only coming up with these good laws now because women are making more money and are subject to the child support themselves. Everything was fine when it was mostly men. I got to agree with you, bro. I got to agree with you. And I've said that more than once. The reason they're changing it is not because it's been hurting men. It's because this is beginning to hurt women. It is what it is. So long as the changes come. It is what it is. It's terrible, but that's what it is. And that's sad. That is absolutely sad. You know what I mean? Like I was saying to Brother Jerry, you know, this is what it is, man. Like this, these are the reasons that the Americans are leaving America. You know what I mean? And once we leave, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe it'll get a lot better. Maybe it'll get a lot worse. We don't know. But I have an exit strategy. I say this all the time. I have an exit strategy. As soon as my daughter is grown, I am gone. I'm out of here. It's about 4 years and some change, roughly. As soon as she's done with high school, man, I am out of here. Get her set up for college and all that. I still have contact with my daughter. Of course, that's my baby, but I'm going. She can live her life and I am gone. I'll have a place in Miami, but I won't be there often. You'll be able to find me in Colombia. Might find me in London, somewhere in the UK. You might find me in Japan, depending on what time of year it is. Might find me in the Philippines. I will be traveling. You know what I mean? I will be traveling. Brother Jerry, deuces. As soon as I get my money up, I'm gone. I ain't mad at you. And that should be the plan for most people. That should be the plan. I mean, it's just folks out here, it's like, it's just not worth it, man. It's just not worth it. The stuff that's going on in this country, you look at our leadership, what's going on in D.C., you look at, you know what I mean? You look at where we are, how polarized we are, how people, you know, you look how dumb Americans are. I mean, it's just not worth being here. It's just not worth. We keep awarding these dumb folks, man. There's people not raising their kids. The educational system has come to a complete halt. Like, it's just terrible what's going on with our educational system. Brother Raj was telling us how bad it is with these tests and how they're doing it. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. It's crazy. It's crazy. Sister Candace, do they require child support payments while the child is in college? No, to my knowledge, no. Again, that's a state to state thing, but 18. There's been some amendments to you can keep your child on your medical insurance. That was a big thing, but no, to my knowledge, And Brother Jerry's like, I feel you on that. Yeah, bro. It's time to move on. Sister Candace, I have a friend who was receiving over $2,000 a month in child support, but was complaining about having to buy her daughter a car and now paying for her first semester at college. I mean, these are decisions that we make. These are decisions that we make. People, if you out there you think about having kids, understand something. Kids cost a lot of money. Kids are expensive. Right? And it ties back to that Roe v. Wade thing. One party has choices, the other party does not. That's another issue for another episode. We won't get into that now. But, you know, like Sister Kansas to your friend, I would say, well, you chose to have the baby. You managed to get child support. right? Why are you paying for a grown-up's car? That's not your requirement. That's something you want to do. That's probably why you're mad at dad. Like, she grown. She want a car. She go get her own car. Why are you paying for her college? Why didn't your daughter get a scholarship? You know what I mean? Female, don't let it be a female of color. There are tons of scholarships out there. She'll probably get an engineering degree for free. Tons of scholarships out there. So I don't be on that. Don 007's in the house. What's good, bro? I'm chilling. What's good with you? We just wrapping it up. We were talking about this was part 2. Talking about the family court system and how we can make some changes. We read a couple articles. We made some, we had a very good discussion in here. We got some real smart folks up in here. I need y'all to keep this conversation going. Talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues, talk to your elected officials. Let's get these people. If you don't want to have a conversation, send them this, send them this, right? Send them this episode. Yo, check this out. Let me know what y'all think. Is it possible to have a tribunal? Is that possible? Right? Is it possible to take away the court system, family court, just do away with it? Is that possible? Is it possible? No. Why can't it be 50-50 right up front? As soon as you file, it's 50-50. Unless the two parents have worked out something else. Why is child support based on how much time or how much time a parent spends or doesn't spend with the child? Why is it that judges are ordering, that a parent can't spend time with their child? Why is that? That just blew my mind. Again, I got transcripts of me asking the judge. I'm like, look, I'm off these 2 days. My child is with strangers in a daycare. Can I at least come get my child for the 7 to 8 hours that my child is in daycare on these 2 days that I'm off? The answer was no. And I had no choice on the matter. It's not like I could have given my son up for adoption. It's not like I could have exercised, the option. I had no choice. I had no say in the matter. And now the court is telling me I can't spend time with my child. Me, the more experienced parent? Are you serious? That's how our court works. Please share this video. Brother Doug was saying some states 18 or college completion age of 21. Huh? So yeah, it's different. It varies from state to state. I know that for a fact. Sister Jenny, okay, I'm done making dinner. Back again. Ooh, what did you make? What did you make for dinner? I haven't. I think my daughter's gonna eat some mac and cheese. We get she loves that mac and cheese from Trader Joe's. It's like amazing. I think that's what she's gonna eat for dinner, so I don't have to cook. Tomorrow she's gonna have spaghetti. I'm gonna make spaghetti for her tomorrow. She loves it. I'm not making the sauce from scratch, although I should. I think I might do that next week. I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna dump in some Paul Newman, and mix it up. Shout out to Paul Newman. If y'all see this, y'all can send me a case of y'all spaghetti sauce, please. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm making some spaghetti and some garlic bread, some garlic toast. She loves that. But that'll be tomorrow. Today she's gonna eat her mac and cheese. Brother Don 007, don't know if it's true, but I heard rumors that you could be on the hook for child support for dating a single mother after so many years. I think that's if you cohabitate with the single mom. I think that's what it is. But again, every state is different. So the argument is the child knows you as the quote unquote father, even though you're not the biological. And in the best interest of the child, you should pay child support to support the lifestyle that has been introduced to the kid. I think that's the argument. So you want to be very careful when you're dealing with single moms. You know what I mean? And ladies, y'all might want to be very careful when you're dealing with single dads. Like we were saying, like Brother Doug was saying, there's a shift happening. The law is like a great white shark. It doesn't care who it eats. It doesn't care. Just cold, lifeless eyes will tear your ass up, ladies. If you dealing with the right dude and he moose the hell out of your ass. So Brother Don, I think that's what it is. But again, I'm no lawyer. I know nothing about that world other than what I've dealt with. But yeah, I've heard a similar thing. Sister Kansas, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's conversation about limb lengthening. That's right. That was for you. You told me about that, and I came across this article, and I'm like, that's it, Sister Candace. She told me about this shit. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Great 2-part conversation today. Keep leading from the front in my D.O. Saint voice. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Sister Candace. And on that note, we'll wrap this up. Yes, tomorrow we're gonna be talking about limb lengthening. Yes. Is this the male BBL? This is what's going on, y'all. We're going to talk about how this works. Shout out to Sister Candace for telling me about it. So catch us tomorrow. I think I got that one scheduled for noon tomorrow. Right, Sister Candace? I think it's noon tomorrow. Hold on, let me check real quick. I know I should know these things. But we are definitely going to be talking about that because it blew my mind. Here it is. Yeah. Upcoming tomorrow, 12 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to be talking about limb lengthening, man. Is that the male BBL? Whew. We're going to be talking about it. So we'll see y'all there. Thank y'all so much for coming through today. like Sister Candace says, be there, be square. Thank y'all for coming through. I really appreciate it. Ladies in the chat, we got Brother Michael and Brother Jason up in here, and they know what time it is. You know what I mean?
Holla, 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 holla.
Yeah, they know what it is. Hit the like button on your way out. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I appreciate it. Everybody who was here today. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.